Good day to all. This video will demonstrate the consistency of an all-knowing, all-good, and all-powerful entity as the ancient creator of the problem of evil, Epicurus, has defined God. First of all of these attributes imply absoluteness. It should be further mentioned that it's only these attributes in us, knowledge, morality, and willpower, that are necessary in order to realize truth in general. This is why only these attributes are necessary in order to define God. All-knowing implies a mind that's absolutely aware of not only beginning and end, but everything in between, including all unity of oppositions and all possible worlds. Such knowledge further includes what we choose to include and or exclude by our freely willed decisions. Such a God wouldn't have no other will but our own, in fact, since will on God's behalf would imply that she still wanted something done, and that would be inconsistent with all-powerfulness. All good implies a mind as well, as morality is based on knowledge between good and evil. Such absoluteness, though, to be sure, must account for seemingly uncontrollable events like natural disasters and genetic disorders as well. But God is only all good, otherwise that attribute wouldn't be absolute. So how do these things occur, yet be consistent with God being all good, one may ask? First of all, one must recognize that good by definition is a simplicity, a proposition of which its definition, in order to be affirmed as true, we must already know the definition of. This is the case as such knowledge of goodness itself appears to be innately inborn within us by nature. This is God in our lives. We become aware of the opposite of good only by things opposing it, such as disasters and disorders, as well as what we freely will. Even so, all of these challenges are surmountable should we collectively choose to overcome them. The problem is, even to this day, we have much more work to do to prioritize overcoming them. The sooner we will do so, though, the better. As such problems have become more devastating over time, the further entropy acts upon the world. Last but not least, God is all-powerful. Powerful enough even to rule out the aforementioned evils, it's true. But God's aggressive power is just as much balanced out by passive restraint. And it's for this balance that God's power is complete. In fact, it's from the latter attribute of restraint that free will is granted, whether for good or ill. Unfortunately, most people have chosen sin at least one time, if not enjoyed it for the short term. Many as well have profited by others' misfortunes. Mercifully, God has it that any pain is soon forgotten, as it always is once it's over. Furthermore, only with God is justice assured, and any suffering inflicted by such evils will balance out eternally. Sinners should be mindful that those who lived only to please the senses will live on by that mindset which they have chosen to lead in this lifetime. But as the senses will no longer be satisfiable beyond the body, that mindset will prove to be hellish eternally. This is what all religious sects forewarn people of. In general, God is always within us, but when petitioned to by prayer, our requests are given extra consideration. Yet, so as not to trample on the will of others or over the paths we have chosen, such requests are not always answered unless the request is otherwise necessary for the world to achieve the only goal worthy of God, heaven on earth. If God had given us such a place from the get-go, our godlike being would have been redundant. There only need be one God after all, and without purpose, which is related to choice. It is exactly these challenges that fulfill us and give us character in the manner in which we overcome the challenges. Overall, the world is what we make of it. God has given us the power to provide meaning to this beautiful planet, and so far we have always chosen we can do better, including this present time. But if you object to God not giving us heaven from the outset, despite how inconsistent that would have been, realize that God granted you to likewise have the power to achieve this goal yourself, should you choose to work collectively with others in order to achieve it. So, I hope this demonstration of the consistency of absolute knowledge, morality, and will in one being proves to you that God is possible. Feel free to comment. Thank you.